Imagine stepping into a restaurant so exclusive it feels like walking into a fortress of wealth, where every detail, every glint of crystal, every whisper of silk, screams power and privilege, only to be laughed at, humiliated, and thrown out like you're less than human, all because of the clothes on your back. Today, I'm about to tear down the walls of the elite and expose the raw, gut-wrenching, soul-shaking truth about how they treat people they think don't belong. When I reveal who I really am, the shock will hit like a supernova, leaving everyone in the room stunned and speechless. This story is so wild, so utterly mind-blowing, you have to watch every single second until the end, or you will miss a twist that'll flip your entire world upside down and leave you questioning everything. Trust me, this is going to rattle you to your very core. Don't even think about clicking away because you'll regret it for the rest of your life. Before we dive into this whirlwind, I've got something absolutely life-altering for you. Head to the first pinned comment or the video description to grab your free copy of my ebook, The Secret of the Wealthy: 7 Steps to Financial Abundance. This guide is your ultimate blueprint for evolving spiritually and crushing your physical, mental, and financial goals. Don't skip it. It's a game changer that could redefine your entire future. Welcome to the MR Millionaire channel. Smash that subscribe button, hit the like, and turn on notifications so you never miss our heart-pounding stories and life-changing lessons. Let's build this community and turn the world on its head together. I'm Mr. Millionaire, a multimillionaire businessman with a purpose that burns brighter than any fortune ever could. I'm a social vigilante, the Batman of financial justice, the vigilante of money who tests the hearts of the high and mighty, salespeople, CEOs, security guards, anyone who thinks wealth gives them a free pass to judge and dismiss. I go undercover, blending in as someone ordinary, someone they'd sneer at without a second thought, to see how they treat those they assume are beneath them. My creed, the fire that fuels every step I take, the compass that guides my mission, is this: the true wealth is who you are when no one's watching. Today, I'm stepping into one of the most prestigious restaurants in the city dressed like a mechanic who just clocked a double shift under a rusty pickup. Greasy jumpsuit smeared with oil and grime-scuffed work boots caked in dirt, and a faded cap pulled low over my eyes, the brim worn from years of honest labor. The restaurant is a cathedral of opulence, a shrine to excess. Crystal chandeliers cast a warm golden glow across the room. Tables are draped in pristine white linens with polished silver gleaming under soft light, and the air hums with the clink of fine crystal, the pop of vintage champagne corks, and the self-assured chatter of the city's elite. Bankers, socialites, and moguls who move through life like they own it. As I push through the heavy glass doors, the hostess, Claire, freezes mid-step, her polished smile evaporating like dew in the desert. "Sir, I'm sorry, but this is a fine dining establishment. Do you have a reservation?" I keep my voice polite, almost cheerful, as if I don't notice the disdain dripping from her words. "No reservation, ma'am. Just here for a meal. Long day at the shop, you know?" She scoffs, her eyes raking over my outfit with undisguised contempt, and leans toward a waiter, James, whispering loud enough for me to hear. "Can you believe this? He looks like he crawled out of a junkyard." James smirks, folding his arms. Probably took a wrong turn looking for a dive bar. I take a step toward the bar, and Claire moves to block me, her tone sharp as a razor. "Sir, we're fully booked. You need to leave." I nod calmly, sidestepping her with ease, and take a seat at the bar anyway. The bartender, Mike, raises an eyebrow but slides a menu my way without a word. Claire storms over, her face flushed with irritation. "Sir, I told you, you can't stay here. You're not welcome." I look up, still polite, my tone steady. "Just want a drink, ma'am. That a problem?" She huffs, spinning on her heel, and mutters to James. "Who does he think he is? Bet he can't even afford the ice in his glass." Mike, the bartender, stands out like a lighthouse in a storm. He leans in, his voice low and genuine. "Don't mind them. They get like this. What can I get you? Just a water for now, thanks." He pours it with a nod, and I catch a spark of kindness in his eyes, a rare gem in this sea of judgment. Claire, though, is still glaring from across the room, watching me like I'm about to pocket the silverware. A couple at a nearby table, dressed in designer clothes and dripping with jewelry, starts complaining loudly enough for the whole restaurant to hear. This is outrageous. Why is someone like him even allowed in here? It's ruining the entire experience. I sip my water, unfazed, but I'm cataloging every word, every glance, every sneer. A few other patrons join the chorus, whispering and sneering, some pulling out their phones to snap pictures, probably to post online with captions mocking the filthy mechanic in their sacred space. One woman, wrapped in a silk scarf, leans over to her friend, loud enough for me to hear. This is why I avoid public places now. They let anyone in. Another man, sipping a martini, chuckles. Bet he's here to beg for scraps. A group of businessmen at a corner table starts laughing, one of them muttering, "Never seen a place like this in his life, I bet." Another patron, a woman with diamond earrings, whispers to her companion, "He's making a fool of himself." A man in a tailored blazer at another table adds his voice. It's embarrassing. Can't they maintain some standards? A woman in a red dress nearby nods in agreement. This is supposed to be an escape from the riffraff. The manager, Mr. Thompson, finally approaches, his tailored suit pristine and his expression a mask of cold authority. "Sir, you're disturbing our guests. I'm going to have to ask you to leave immediately." I meet his gaze, my voice steady. "Disturbing?" "I'm just sitting here, sir, trying to order a drink." He steps closer, his tone icy as a winter wind. "This restaurant caters to a specific clientele." "Let's not make a scene." I smile, leaning back in my seat. No scene here, but I'm not going anywhere just yet. The room feels charged now, tension crackling like a live wire. Claire, James, and the complaining couple watch, smug, thinking they've got me cornered. Other patrons are openly staring, some smirking, others nodding in approval of my impending eviction. A young waitress, Sarah, working nearby, looks uncomfortable, her eyes darting between me and the angry staff, her hands fidgeting with a tray. Another server, Emily, hovers near the back, watching quietly, her expression unreadable. A busboy, Carlos, is clearing a table nearby, his head down but his eyes flicking toward me with curiosity. They don't know it, but they're walking straight into the trap I've set. This is why I do what I do, to expose the rot of judgment that festers in places like this to challenge the arrogant, and to find the rare souls like Mike and maybe Sarah Emily or Carlos who show heart when no one else does. Claire, James, and Mr. Thompson are about to get a wake-up call that'll echo for years, and I'm savoring every second of it. We're deep into this experiment, and the results are as ugly as I feared. Most people in this restaurant have shown their true colors. Quick to judge, quick to exclude, obsessed with status over substance. But there's still hope, and I'm far from done shaking this place to its foundations. Speaking of shaking things up, don't miss your chance to grab your free copy of The Secret of the Wealthy, 7 Steps to Financial Abundance in the pinned comment or description. This ebook is your roadmap to building a life of purpose, wealth, and unshakable strength, no matter what challenges you face. Get it now. It's an absolute must-have. And if you're gripped by this story, join the MR Millionaire movement. Subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and turn on notifications. We've got more explosive stories and lessons on the way, and I want you with us for every heart-stopping moment. I stay at the bar, flipping through the menu, letting the tension simmer. Claire huddles with Mr. Thompson, pointing at me and whispering furiously, her gestures sharp and accusing. James is circling like a shark, tossing snide comments to the other waitstaff. Look at this guy, acting like he's somebody. What a clown. The couple from earlier escalates, calling over Mr. Thompson to demand my removal. This is a disgrace. We pay good money to dine here, not to sit near someone like him. The man in the blazer chimes in again. It's embarrassing. Can't you maintain some standards? The woman in the red dress adds her voice. This is supposed to be an escape from the riffraff. The woman with the diamond earrings nods, her voice carrying. He's making a fool of himself. The businessmen in the corner keep laughing, one of them muttering. Bet he's never even heard of half the stuff on the menu. I catch Mike glancing my way, and he gives a small, apologetic shrug, as if to say he's not part of this circus. I nod back, appreciating his decency in a room full of disdain. Sarah, the young waitress, is still nearby, quietly refilling water glasses, but I notice her stealing glances at me, her expression torn between curiosity and unease. Emily, the other server, is now closer, wiping down a table but watching the scene unfold, her face neutral but her eyes attentive. Carlos, the busboy, is still clearing tables, but he's slowed down, his eyes flicking toward me more often, a hint of sympathy in his expression. I decide to push the test further, signaling Mike. "Can you tell me about the specials?" He starts describing a $250 lobster dish, but Claire interrupts, storming over with fire in her eyes. "Sir, enough. You're wasting our time. Leave now, or I'll call security." I raise my hands, calm as ever. "No need for that, ma'am. Just trying to order." Mr. Thompson steps in again, his patience long gone. "This is your final warning. Get out, or we'll make you." The room is watching now, every eye on me, some patrons smirking, others murmuring in approval of my impending exit. The businessmen keep laughing, one of them muttering, "Bet he's never seen a place like this in his life." The woman with the diamond earrings whispers again, "He's making a spectacle." Sarah bites her lip, looking like she wants to say something but doesn't. Emily pauses her cleaning, her eyes flicking to me with a hint of sympathy. Carlos, still nearby, sets down a plate and lingers, watching. I lean back, taking one last sip of water. It's time. I stand up, and the restaurant falls silent, every conversation dying as Claire, James, Mr. Thompson, the complaining couple, the man in the blazer, the woman in the red dress, the woman with the diamond earrings, the businessmen, and the sneering patrons fix their eyes on me. I reach into my pocket and pull out a sleek black credit card, the kind that screams wealth and power, the kind that makes banks tremble and egos crumble. I hand it to Mike, my voice clear and commanding, cutting through the silence like a thunderclap. "Put the entire restaurant's tab on this tonight. Every table, every drink, every single dessert. Cover it all." Mike's eyes widen, his hands trembling slightly. "Sir, are you serious?" "Dead serious." I turn to the room, my tone calm but unyielding, each word landing like a hammer. "My name is Mr. Millionaire. I'm a businessman who believes in testing how people treat others when they think no one is watching. I came here tonight to see if this place values people, or just their wallets. Claire, you judged me the second I walked through that door. James, you mocked me like I was nothing. Mr. Thompson, you cared more about your restaurant's image than treating a customer with basic respect. You all failed the test." The crowd gasps, some shifting uncomfortably, others whispering in shock. I turn to the couple who complained. "You treated me like I didn't belong, like my presence was an insult to your status. You," pointing to the man in the blazer, "you called me an embarrassment. You," pointing to the woman in the red dress, "you said I was riffraff. And you," pointing to the woman with the diamond earrings, "you said I was making a fool of myself." The businessmen in the corner, "You laughed like I was a joke. But I'm not here to shame you forever. I'm here to teach you." I look at Mike, who's still clutching the card, stunned. "Mike, you were different. You treated me like a person, not a problem, even when everyone else turned their backs. That's why I'm giving you $15,000 tonight to chase your dreams, whatever they are." Mike's jaw drops and he shakes his head, tears welling up. The room erupts in murmurs, some patrons clapping, others staring in disbelief. I notice Sarah, the young waitress, smiling softly, her eyes bright with emotion. I point to her. "Sarah, I saw you. You didn't join in the judgment. You stayed kind, even when it was easier to follow the crowd. That's worth more than you know. I'm giving you $5,000 to help with whatever you need. School, family, anything." Sarah gasps, covering her mouth, and the crowd's murmurs grow louder. I turn to Emily, who's been quietly watching. "Emily, you didn't say much, but I saw you hesitate when they ganged up on me. You didn't pile on, and that matters. I'm giving you $3,000 to support your goals." Emily's eyes widen, and she nods, a small smile breaking through. I look at Carlos, the busboy. "Carlos, I saw you watching, not judging. You kept working, but you didn't add to the cruelty. I'm giving you $2,000 to help you move forward." Carlos's eyes light up, and he nods, stunned. I face Claire, James, and Mr. Thompson again. "You had every chance to show kindness, but you chose arrogance. You judged a book by its cover and missed the truth. Next time, think twice about who you're dealing with. The true wealth is who you are when no one's watching." I pause, letting the weight of my words settle over the room like a heavy fog. The couple from the table looks down, their faces flushed with shame. Claire's mouth is open, speechless, her confidence shattered. James is staring at the floor, his smirk long gone. Mr. Thompson's rigid posture has softened, his expression a mix of regret and disbelief. The man in the blazer is fidgeting, avoiding eye contact. The woman in the red dress is clutching her napkin, her bravado gone. The woman with the diamond earrings is frozen, her hands trembling slightly. The businessmen in the corner are silent, their laughter replaced by uneasy glances. Other patrons are whispering, some shaking their heads, others nodding in reflection. I turn to the crowd one last time. This is what I do. I go where the elite think they rule and test their character. I reward those who show heart, like Mike, Sarah, Emily, and Carlos, because that's what matters. Money can buy a meal, but only your actions define who you are. I'm not just a businessman. I'm a man who believes in second chances, in growth, in the power of kindness to change the world. I've been where you are, judging others, thinking wealth was everything. I was wrong. I learned the hard way that true wealth isn't tea in your bank account. It is in your heart. It's in how you treat the stranger no one else sees. So, be better. Choose kindness. You never know who's watching. I start walking toward the exit, but I stop at the door, looking back. This moment is yours to carry. Don't waste it. The restaurant is buzzing now, patrons talking over each other, some applauding, others reflecting in silence. Mike's still holding the check, a grin spreading across his face. Sarah's wiping tears, clutching her own check, her smile radiant. Emily's nodding, her eyes shining with gratitude. Carlos is beaming, shaking his head in disbelief. Claire and James are huddled with Mr. Thompson, their arrogance replaced by unease. The couple, the man in the blazer, the woman in the red dress, the woman with the diamond earrings, and the businessmen are quiet. Their heads bowed, some whispering apologies to each other. Other patrons are clapping, some standing, their faces a mix of awe and introspection. I step outside, the night air cool against my skin, and take a deep breath. Another day, another lesson taught. This is my calling. To expose the truth, challenge the arrogant, and lift up those who deserve it. As I stand outside the restaurant, the cool night air weaving through the city's restless pulse, I let the gravity of what just unfolded settle into every fiber of my being. The glow of the restaurant's windows fades behind me, but the echoes of the moment, gasps of shock, murmurs of shame, bursts of applause, and the quiet, heartfelt gratitude of those I uplifted, resonate like a symphony that refuses to end. This wasn't just a test, a reveal, or a fleeting spark of drama. It was a profound reckoning with the human spirit, a mirror held up to the choices we make when we think no one's watching. Tonight, I stepped into a world where wealth is a throne, status a fortress, and appearances a currency more valued than gold. I dismantled those illusions, not with force, but with truth, exposing the fragile, flawed, and fiercely beautiful reality beneath. Claire, James, and Mr. Thompson, with their swift judgments and cutting words, weren't just individuals. They were embodiments of a pervasive mindset that runs like a current through our world. They represent the instinct to measure a person's worth by their clothes, their wallet, or their place in the social hierarchy, to reduce a human soul to a snapshot of assumptions. The couple at the table draped in designer finery, the man in the blazer with his smug barbs, the woman in the red dress with her disdainful sneer, the woman with diamond earrings whispering her scorn, the businessmen chuckling from their corner, they all fell into the same trap, letting arrogance and prejudice blind them to the humanity sitting quietly at the bar. Their actions weren't just about me. They were a reflection of how they navigate life, dismissing anyone who doesn't mirror their polished, exclusive ideals. They built walls around their hearts, not realizing those walls confine them more than anyone else, trapping them in a cycle of judgment that diminishes their own humanity. Yet, in that same room, there were Mike, Sarah, Emily, and Carlos, ordinary souls who became extraordinary through the quiet, unshakable power of their choices. Mike's steady kindness, offering a glass of water and a smile when no one else would, was a lifeline in a sea of contempt. Sarah's restraint, refusing to join the chorus of judgment despite the pressure swirling around her, was a testament to her strength. Emily's hesitation, her silence a subtle rebellion against the cruelty unfolding, spoke volumes of her character. Carlos's unspoken empathy, his eyes carrying a compassion he didn't need to voice, was a beacon of hope. They didn't know I was Mr. Millionaire, and they didn't care. They treated me with respect because that's who they are, not because they expected applause, reward, or recognition. Their actions were a clarion call, a reminder that true wealth is not found in what you possess. It's in what you give, in the compassion you extend, when the world isn't watching, in the integrity you hold, when it's easier to conform. Honoring them with recognition and support wasn't just about the moment. It was about amplifying their goodness, about showing the world that kindness is a force, a currency that outshines gold, a legacy that endures. Mike's tears, Sarah's radiant smile, Emily's quiet gratitude, Carlos's stunned nod, they're the heartbeat of this mission, the proof that there's still a pulse of decency in a world that can feel cold, divided, and unforgiving. They are the ones who make this work sacred, the ones who remind me that humanity can still surprise you with its capacity for beauty, even in the darkest, most judgmental corners. This experiment, this calling, is about far more than exposing flaws or delivering lessons. It's about igniting transformation, about planting seeds that grow long after I've walked away. Every person in that restaurant tonight left with something, a challenge to question their biases, a story to carry, a moment that might shift the way they see the world. Claire might still scoff at the next person who doesn't fit her mold. James might still mock. Mr. Thompson might still prioritize image over integrity. The couple, the man in the blazer, the woman in the red dress, the woman with the diamond earrings, the businessman. They might cling to their pride, brushing this off as a spectacle to be forgotten. But maybe they won't. Maybe they'll pause the next time they're tempted to judge. Maybe they'll remember the mechanic who turned out to be more than he seemed, and they'll choose differently. Maybe they'll share this story at a dinner party, a boardroom, a coffee shop, and it'll spark a conversation, a reflection, a shift in perspective. Maybe a stranger will overhear and carry it further, and the ripple will spread, touching lives I'll never meet, reshaping hearts I'll never know. Maybe a child will hear it from a parent and grow up with a little more compassion, a little less judgment. Maybe a coworker will think twice before dismissing someone based on appearances. That's the alchemy of moments like this. They don't end when the doors close. They live on in the quiet corners of the mind, in the choices people make when they're alone with their thoughts, in the stories they tell that outlast the night, in the lives they touch that carry the lesson forward. They become threads in the tapestry of humanity, weaving a future that's a little kinder, a little fairer, a little more connected. My own journey is woven into this reflection, because this mission wasn't born in a vacuum. I wasn't always Mr. Millionaire, the vigilante of money, the man with a purpose and a platform. I was once like them, caught in the seductive trap of status, measuring my worth by my wealth, judging others by the same shallow metrics. I know the allure of that world, the rush of feeling superior, the comfort of fitting in with the elite. I've walked those polished floors, sipped those overpriced drinks, worn those tailored suits, but life has a way of cracking you open, of stripping away the lies you tell yourself. I hit rock bottom, confronted my own failures, my own emptiness, and found redemption in a truth that changed everything. The only thing that matters is who you are when the spotlight's off. I rebuilt my life, not just with wealth, but with meaning, with a fire to make a difference. I found my calling in giving back, in using my resources to lift others up, to challenge the systems that divide us, to shine a light on the beauty and brokenness of the human heart. Every test I conduct, every heart I touch, every lesson I teach is a step toward a world where kindness is the standard, where people are seen for who they are, not what they appear to be. Mike, Sarah, Emily, and Carlos, they're the reason I keep going. They're the proof that there's still good in the world worth fighting for, that there are still people who choose heart over hate, even when it's hard, even when it's unseen. They're the spark that keeps this fire burning, the reminder that every small act of goodness is a victory, a step toward a brighter, more compassionate future. This night, this moment, is a microcosm of the larger struggle we all face, the struggle to rise above our instincts, to choose compassion over cruelty, to value substance over surface. It's a reminder that we're all connected, that every interaction is a chance to build or break, to uplift or undermine, to leave a mark that heals or one that scars. The elite in that restaurant thought they were untouchable, but they learned that no one is above accountability. The patrons who judged thought their whispers were invisible, but they learned that their actions carry weight, that they ripple outward in ways they can't control. And the kind souls who stood out learned that their quiet goodness is seen, valued, and celebrated, that it has the power to inspire and transform. This is what drives me, to create moments that challenge, inspire, and reshape, to show the world that true wealth isn't in what you have, but in what you do with it, to prove that a single act of kindness can outshine 1,000 acts of arrogance, to remind us that we all have the power to change the narrative, to rewrite the rules, to make the world a little brighter, a little fairer, a little more human. But this isn't just about one night, one restaurant, one story. It's about the bigger picture, the eternal dance between who we are and who we could be. It's about the choices we make every day, on the street, in the office, at home, in the quiet moments when no one's watching. It's about recognizing that every person we meet is a story, a struggle, a spark of potential we can either ignite or extinguish. The world is full of Claires and Jameses, full of people who judge and exclude, but it's also full of Mikes and Sarahs, Emilys and Carloses, people who choose kindness, who hold fast to their humanity, who remind us what's possible. This mission, this calling, is about tipping the balance, about amplifying the good, about creating a world where the default is compassion, not contempt. It's about reminding us that we're all part of the same fragile, beautiful tapestry, that our actions weave threads that either strengthen or fray it. Tonight was a single thread, but it's part of a larger weave, a movement toward a future where true wealth is measured by the lives we touch, the hearts we lift, the bridges we build. As I walk into the night, the city lights stretching out before me like a canvas of dreams, struggles and endless possibilities, I feel a quiet resolve burning in my chest, a fire that no amount of wealth or status could ever ignite. This is my calling, to shine a light on the truth, to challenge the arrogant, to uplift the deserving, and to remind us all that we're defined by our choices, not our circumstances. To everyone watching, I leave you with this. You don't need millions to make a difference. You don't need a grand stage or a dramatic reveal. All you need is the courage to see people for who they are, not what they appear to be. Be the Mike in a room full of Claires, the Sarah in a crowd of cynics, the Emily who hesitates, the Carlos who stays true. Be the person who chooses kindness, even when it's hard, even when the world presses you to conform, to judge, to turn away with a sneer. Choose to be the one who sees beyond the surface, who pierces through the veil of appearances to recognize the humanity in every face, who offers a moment of warmth when the room is icy with indifference. Be the one who stands resolute in compassion, who refuses to let cynicism, prejudice, or apathy dictate your actions, who dares to act with integrity when no one's watching, when the spotlight is dim, when the crowd is silent. Choose to be the one who holds fast to decency, who extends a hand instead of a judgment, who speaks with empathy instead of scorn, who walks through the world with a heart open to the unseen stories of others. Because that's where the true wealth lies. Not in the fleeting shimmer of status, the hollow weight of wealth, or the temporary applause of the crowd, but in the legacy you leave. In the lives you touch in the world you help shape with every choice you make, every moment you seize, every act you commit to the quiet altar of kindness. Your actions, no matter how small they seem, a smile to a stranger on a weary day, a kind word to someone overlooked, a moment of patience when anger feels justified, a gesture of respect to someone dismissed, carry a power that's boundless, a force that transcends the moment and ripples through time. They have the strength to change someone's day, to shift someone's perspective, to plant a seed of hope that grows into someone's future, blossoming in ways you'll never witness. They travel far beyond the here and now, building bridges across divides that seem insurmountable, healing wounds that words alone can't soothe, sparking hope in places where despair has dug its roots deep. Your choices, those seemingly insignificant decisions to listen, to care, to act with grace, become threads in the tapestry of humanity, weaving connections that strengthen the world, that mend its fractures, that light its darkest corners. They are the quiet revolutions that reshape lives, the unseen currents that carry hope to distant shores, the small sparks that ignite fires of change in hearts you'll never meet, in places you'll never see, in futures you'll never know. Don't underestimate that power. Don't let it slip through your fingers, dismissed as trivial or drowned out by the clamor of a world that often glorifies flash over substance, that mistakes wealth for worth and status for strength. Don't let the weight of routine, the pull of doubt, or the lure of cynicism convince you that your actions are too small to matter. They are not. They are the building blocks of a better world, the foundation of a legacy that endures. Carry this moment with you like a flame in the darkness. Let it burn bright in your chest, a reminder that you have a choice every single day to be better, to do better, to make the world better. Let it remind you that you are not just a passerby in the story of humanity. You are a writer, a builder, a dreamer, a creator with the power to shape what comes next. Every step you take, whether it's a bold stride toward justice or a quiet shuffle through a mundane day, is a chance to leave a mark that lasts, to carve a path that others can follow, to etch your values into the world. Every word you speak, whether it's a shout of conviction or a whisper of comfort, is a chance to inspire, to heal, to challenge, to sow seeds that grow into stories of hope. Every hand you extend, whether it's to lift someone from despair or to steady yourself in a moment of doubt, is a chance to weave a thread of connection, to bridge a gap, to create a moment that lingers in the heart long after the day has passed. Let this moment be your compass, guiding you through the noise and chaos of a world that often forgets what truly matters. Let it be your anchor, grounding you in the truth that the true wealth is who you are when no one is watching, when the curtains are drawn, when the audience is gone. It's in the quiet integrity of choosing kindness over cruelty, of choosing understanding over judgment, of choosing to see the person, not the label, the story, not the stereotype. It's in the courage to act with heart, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's unnoticed, even when it feels like it won't make a difference. Because it does. Every time you choose to be the Mike, the Sarah, the Emily, the Carlos, you're rewriting the script of what's possible. You're proving that goodness is not weak, that compassion is not naive, that kindness is a force that can move mountains, topple walls, and light up the darkest nights. You're showing the world that one person's choice can start a chain reaction, that a single act of decency can inspire another, and another, and another, until the ripples become a tide, washing over communities, cities, generations, transforming the world in ways that defy measurement. Think of the stranger who carries your kindness forward, paying it to someone else because you showed them it was possible, because your moment of grace gave them the courage to act. Think of the child who watches you, who learns from your example that compassion is stronger than contempt, that empathy is braver than exclusion. Think of the person teetering on the edge of giving up, whose life is changed because your small gesture, a moment of respect, a word of encouragement, a glance that says, "I see you," gave them the strength to keep going, to believe in themselves, to hope again. Think of the coworker who rethinks their snap judgment because they saw you choose differently, the friend who softens their heart, because your story stirred something in them, the passerby who carries your act of kindness like a torch into their own life. Your actions don't just exist in the moment. They travel, they transform, they endure. They build bridges where walls once stood. They heal wounds that time alone can't mend. They spark hope in places where despair has taken root. They create a world where people feel seen, valued, and worthy, not because of what they have, but because of who they are, because of the shared humanity that binds us all. That's the power you hold, the responsibility you carry, the opportunity you're given every day to make a difference. It's not about grand gestures or monumental feats. It's about the small, deliberate choices that accumulate, that compound, that create a legacy far greater than the sum of its parts. It's about the courage to be kind when the world is cruel, to be patient when the world is rushed, to be generous when the world is selfish. It's about the resilience to keep choosing heart, even when you're tired, even when you're hurt, even when the world feels like it's conspiring against you. Don't waste that power. Don't let fear, doubt, or apathy dim the light you can shine. Don't let the world's cynicism convince you that kindness is futile, that your actions don't matter, that one person can't change anything. They can. You can. You do. Your choices matter in ways you'll never fully grasp, in places you'll never visit, in lives you'll never know, in futures you'll never see. They are the ripples that become waves, the sparks that become fires, the threads that weave a tapestry of hope, connection, and change. Carry this moment with you like a talisman, a reminder of who you can be, of the world you can help create. Let it be your guide through the shadows, your strength in the storm, your clarity in the chaos. Let it remind you that you are not powerless, not insignificant, not alone. You are a force, a creator, a catalyst with the ability to shape the narrative, to redefine what's possible, to leave a mark that echoes through time. Every day is a canvas, and every choice is a brushstroke, painting a story that can inspire, uplift, and endure. Every interaction is a chance to build something beautiful, to mend something broken, to light something new. You are the author of that future, the architect of that change, the keeper of a power that can heal, inspire, and transform. Choose wisely, because your choices don't just define you. They define the world around you. They shape the lives you touch. They carve the path for those who follow. Choose bravely, because the world needs courage now more than ever to stand against division, to rise above fear, to hold fast to hope. Choose kindly, because kindness is the foundation of a future worth building, the cornerstone of a world where every person is seen, every story is heard, every heart is valued. Be the Mike, the Sarah, the Emily, the Carlos, not just today, but every day, in every moment, in every interaction, in every quiet corner of your life. Be the person who chooses heart over hate, who chooses hope over fear, who chooses connection over division, who chooses to make a difference no matter how small it seems. Be the one who sees the potential in others, who lifts them up, who reminds them they're enough. Be the one who dares to act with love in a world that often forgets what love looks like. Because those small choices, those quiet acts, those fleeting moments, they're the ones that change the world. One heart, one life, one story at a time. They're the ones that build a legacy, that shift the tide, that light the way. They're the ones that prove that true wealth is not what you have, but who you are, what you give, how you choose to show up in the world. They're the ones that make you a force for good, a beacon of hope, a builder of a future that shines brighter because you were here, because you chose to care, because you chose to act, because you chose to be the change the world so desperately needs. Choose kindly. Choose bravely. The world is waiting, and it starts with you. Pick up a copy of The Secret of the Wealthy, 7 Steps to Financial Abundance in the pinned comment or description. It's your guide to thriving spiritually, mentally, and financially, no matter what life throws at you. And if this story set your soul on fire, join the Millionaire family. Hit subscribe, drop a like, and turn on notifications to catch our next unforgettable adventure. The world needs more people who value heart over status. Let's change it together.